Hello, Aunt Leonie.
Hi,
Wow, what a celebration. Look at Aunt Leonie. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing good. It is so good to see
I'm okay.
you. 100 years young. Wow, that is unbelievable.
That's a century, isn't it?
Let me ask you something. Because you've made it to the century mark and you've made it to 100, what's the earliest years you can remember? Can you walk me through some of the early years you remember?
The twins were born.
Odette and
We,
Bobette.
have, we used to have a black guy ride a little cart to go pick up the other kids from school at the bridge. And I hopped on with him because I had to tell the kids, Mama had two babies. Mama had two babies. That's the early one. Uh,
Was that on Laurel
other than
Grove?
that, oh, when Eugene was born, your dad,
Yeah, talk about Dad.
he was sleeping in the bedroom, and I happened to be outside playing, and I looked up and I saw smoke coming out of the fireplace. And I ran inside and told Mama, and she hurried up and took Eugene out of the bed and threw some stuff on the. It was in combustion with papers all over in there.
Wow.
Let's see. Oh, again with your dad. He was jumping the rose in the garden, and he fell and broke his wrist. And a few years back, I asked him, how come he did that? He said, I was holding two pennies in my hand, and I wasn't about to let him go. He might have told you that, I don't know.
He told me about Papa in the blacksmith shop and my daddy making coffee a lot. But what was some of your chores at Laurel Grove? What are some of the things you had to
I
do?
used to go over there and kind of help.
What were the things you had to do? He remembers Papa helping make coffee.
Make coffee.
What were the things you had to do?
Oh, you wouldn't know that. Elsa and I had the slop jar. She'd go at the side door, and all the guys up there with their trucks full of corn.
So tell me, what was Laurel Grove like?
Well, you never went there to visit?
I wasn't born yet. Everybody had left Laurel Grove when I came around.
Well, let's see. We had this, the house that we lived in had 4 bedrooms. Well, 5 actually with Mama, and then the other the other 3 rooms was where we sat, and we had the kitchen and eating room, and a back door room that was horrible. We could hear the rats at night.
Let me ask you, I want to talk about your military service because that's very important to me and the family. And by the way, before you talk about it, my mom sends her love. I know her and a few of my family members sent you a card. I don't know if you received it yet, but you will be. But they send their love. But on that note, I want to know about your military career.
That wasn't much. To begin with, I was working in New Orleans. They made ticking for mattresses with the raw cotton that I put in one of those things, and then it would turn out a smaller thread to a smaller thread until they got to the other part of it. This girl come in one day and she said, oh, guess what I did? And I looked at her and said, well, Alice, come on, tell me what you did. She says, I joined the Navy. I said, how did you do? No, it was the Army, the wax. How did you do it? Where did you do it and how? She says, oh, hold on, hold on. She says, how old are you? I says, I'm 20. She says, I think you have to be 21, but 20 with your parents' consent. Well, she came back the next day and said, you have to have your consent. So I rushed home that weekend, told Mom and Papa what I was going to do. And I said, well, Mama, I'm going to be 21 next month. I can go then. But I left that December the 23rd, December 43. I was assigned to what they call a prop specialist, which I wasn't, because they wouldn't let me get up there and fix the prop, which was a heck of a time. Mm-hmm. So when Carl and I met, I told the girl, we were waiting for the bathroom. And I said, you see that guy over there? I'm going to marry him. He was the secretary to the major. Yeah. And he could finagle his papers any kind of way. So he'd get a weekend just by putting his name down. And,
that's pretty clever. That's pretty clever. Were you working on the Higgins boats?
No, we were in Merced. It then turned up to strategic command. Anyway, that was it. 1945, when it was all over with, we were married by then.
Yeah, so y'all met while you were working in the military.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So for you, was it love at first sight?
You could say that.
Well, good.
Because when I saw him sitting there, then he came back. We were talking one day, and he came over and he said, when are you going to ask me to go out? Oh, I said, I thought my mother always told me that the man always asked the man. So he said, okay. So a few weeks later, we were playing baseball. And I thought, one of the girls fell and hurt her ankle. And he yelled, I hit a good one. And I was running, and he said, don't hurt your ankle. We're going dancing tonight.
So did you like to dance?
Oh, yeah. I wasn't a very good one, but I liked it anyway.
With all those brothers and sisters, you had such a big family. What was it like to be part of that big family?
Believe me. Well, you one of 6.
I am. You have a great memory. You have a great memory.
Yeah. We were 7 girls and 4 boys. Okay? I was more or less of a tomboy. I mean, I played it to the hilt too.
So you would hang around. You would hang around the neighborhood boys at Laurel Grove?
No, actually, we didn't.
Okay.
We had times that we played, but that's okay. We didn't really hang around.
Who was your favorite president of all time? And you're a great one to ask because you've seen a few presidents. Who was your favorite of all time? She gave a look just like Eugene False. You gave a look just like my dad would have gave.
Roosevelt.
Wow, it's amazing you would say that because when I interviewed Daddy, he said Roosevelt.
He said when he interviewed Daddy, he said Roosevelt.
Yeah.
So it's good that you said that. And
then Kennedy.
And then Kennedy.
Yep, for sure. So you've seen 100 years and you are as sharp as you could be. What is the secret that you have for being so sharp at 100 years?
Faith, hope, and charity.
Yeah.
That good? Take both
And,
to charity.
and do you drink coffee?
Of course. Much.
Yeah, well, I was reading something this
coffee.
morning. They said a lot of dark coffee with no sugar helps you have longevity. I don't know if that's true or not, but maybe it is. Who knows?
I have a cream.
Okay, all right.
I
Well,
like
hey,
cream in my coffee.
yep, you deserve it. So what was some of the funnest things that you got to do in the 100 years? What was your hobbies? What did you love to do?
Oh, wow. Let's see.
Baseball.
Hobbies?
Sewing.
Sewing.
Okay.
Sewing was most of it.
You played baseball too.
Hmm?
You played baseball when you were younger.
Well, we played baseball, yeah, but that wasn't a hobby. A hobby was sewing.
There you go. And I could hear
I
you.
like to sew.
I could
still
hear
do.
you telling your son and your granddaughter, you sort of rule the roost, huh? Does she still rule the roost, Kelsey? Wow, you made that?
Yes, sir. She does.
She does rule the roost.
You still
Hold up the mask that you made. Let me see the mask.
makes a lot. She makes all kind.
Yes,
Like COVID.
indeed. What sibling did she get in the most trouble with?
COVID hit.
Now, remind her that Aunt Odette is watching, so she might want to leave Aunt Odette out of it because Aunt Odette will be watching this.
So Aunt Odette is watching this, but he wants to know what sibling you got in the most trouble with.
Elsie, we tried to get
Tried to
Elsie because we were so close together that
Right.
we tried to do one another,
one up.
and we were in school together.
Yeah. Aunt
I
Elsie
didn't-
was
I didn't
one of
get
a
to first
kind.
grade until we moved to Laurel Grove, and so I was 6 months behind. And so when it was time to go to school, Elsie was already ready to go. So we went through school together. And although she didn't play what I played, I was still athletic more than anything.
Yeah. What was your favorite sport?
Baseball? Baseball,
What position?
second base.
But God, what a great celebration, and what a understand that you've been getting a lot of well wishes. What's it like when everybody's calling you or talking to you? I know Donna came by and she visited you. What's it like for everybody to wish you a happy 100 years?
Oh, you wouldn't believe. Right now, I got a chill thinking of it. Donna and Martin and Caroline, they were all so sweet. They even brought me a bunch of flowers. And
Wow.
we had a nice time talking to them and to Odette at the same time.
Yeah.
It was a nice visit.
And I guess with being one of 11, and I know it was separated by age because some of y'all were older than the others, and so y'all probably weren't always together, but that's quite a large family. So I guess there were just many little cliques along the way, and you had to find your spot in that large family.
We really didn't find a space. We just had it. I mean, we were in a certain spot at a certain time, and that was it.
Yeah. Was Papa strict or was Mama strict?
Half and half. Sometimes they would. My father was a little bit. Well, he didn't do too much with us. You know, when he looked at us, that was it. You don't do nothing else. But Mama, she was always kind of And that was pretty bad those days.
I bet, yeah, the depression.
When you
What
didn't
was
have
the
enough money
depression
to be
like?
around. Well,
Depressing.
I'm telling you, my father, that's why we had to move from the family, part of his mama's family, to where we were in Laurel Grove because of the depression. And then I thought, my gosh, I was 6 years old and I can remember having to move because of the schooling and everything. And then, boy, it really was really hard.
Yeah.
It was nothing like those ones that they had not too long ago.
So you moved from, was it Donaldsonville to Laurel Grove? Is my recollection correct?
Yeah, it was. My grandfather, Mama's papa, could tell that the year of what is it about? Not a donkey, the mule, by looking at his teeth. And when we moved to Laurel Grove, after those, when I got to be in my teens, even before that, I used to go spend the summers over there. So I wasn't home as much in the summers. And I loved to be out there. We always had more family there, kids to play with, the Waggisbacks.
Dad used to spend a lot of time with George and Jerry Waggisback, so I guess the two families were very close.
Well, the mama's brother-in-law and all of her brothers lived on that farm, and they're all supposed to have done something. But I don't really remember too much about it. They grew cane and corn, I think.
Okay.
I think corn, but cane, I think was the. And we had cane on Laurel Grove too. Laurel Grove was the factory there to bring the canes to.
In Laurel Grove, me and Daddy visited Laurel Grove a couple of weeks before he passed away. The smokestack is still there at Laurel Grove. Now the house y'all lived in is gone, but the smokestack is still there.
I knew that. Odette took me to see that one day. I said, my gosh, look at that house that they put there. How old were you when you did the reunion?
Boy, you have a great memory. The reunion, I think I was in my early 30s.
Memory.
Early 30s I was for the reunion.
See? Not 40 years, it's closer.
So it was 30-something years ago. What a great memory. God, I only wish I had that memory. It's fantastic. So how do you keep that memory? Do you do crossword puzzles or stuff like that?
All the time. All the time. Right now.
That is
Yep, she does
fantastic.
puzzles.
Yeah.
I do the circles. Circle the word. And then there's one called fill in, which is a bugger. You really have to think about that one.
Oh, this is fantastic.
It's nice book. They keep you going.
Yeah. I mean, are you feeling well? I mean, I saw you walking around the house before we started this interview. Looks like you're moving around pretty well.
Thank God I feel fine. My aches and pains, but you grin and bear them. And take a pill when it's too much.
You know what I see in her, that false Waggisback sense of humor, but she reminds me a lot of Aunt Donnie, and I see a lot of Aunt Donnie in her, and I also see a lot of Odette in her. So I see a variation, but I know they're sisters, but I see those little mannerisms.
Marie-Jean wasn't, I don't know, she was quiet. Is that the one you're talking about, Donnie?
She was, but she was quiet, but she had her moments. But I'm talking about facial expressions and just different things. Y'all have similarities. I see a lot of Dad too, for
Yeah.
sure.
I look at her picture once in a while and I can see me in it.
Oh, I do too. He sees a lot of Dad in you too.
Yeah. Oh, we both have gray hair.
Well, let me just tell her, and I want you to help me translate this to Kelsey, but when Dad received that letter from Aunt Leonie for his 90th birthday, he was so thrilled. He shared it with all of us, and we wanted to thank her because that was a big day for him, and that's why I wanted to do this 100-year interview, but that was a great day for him.
He said when you sent his daddy his letter for his 90th birthday, he shared it with everybody, and it really meant a lot to him. So he wanted to do this interview with you to show how much it meant, because he did an interview with his daddy too.
Yeah.
So this means a lot to him to do this and see you and interview you.
Yeah. Thank you. Can I be frank?
Oops.
Absolutely.
I didn't expect you to look what you look like today. I always pictured you at the time of the union.
The
So-
reunion.
The reunion.
So
So
are
you
you
see,
saying that?
grow.
Are you saying I'm a lot older now?
No.
No.
No. We all grow old.
There's no doubt, and a lot of my relatives say you see the silver and the white. Daddy had that. Hector had that. Benny had that. So I inherited this from y'all's side.
He inherited the gray right here from
Yeah.
y'all's side, he said.
Oh yeah, that's why men get gray first.
Yeah.
The sideburns.
Very true. Well, what do you want to share with? I'm going to share this with all your family. I'm going to share it with people in our area, and I'm going to run some excerpts from this. What would you like to leave all of your relatives with? A little message. What would you like to say? Because I know that they're celebrating in their hearts your 100th birthday.
The only best words to say would be faith, hope, and charity. To all of them, to have faith, hope, and charity. What else can I say to them? That's what faith comes in. Love.
Yeah.
Hope. It's a peace. Charity is the joy of giving. I have that written on a piece of paper to put on the tables when they have my party Saturday.
Yes, she does. And let me tell you, I'm going to butt in. We've tried to plan this without her, and she has not let us. She has to have every detail of everything.
Well, she deserves it. And you know what I just saw? I saw some Aunt Maybelle come out entering that last expression.
Oh,
Yep, Aunt Maybelle. But I would like to take this opportunity to say that we all love you. And I know we haven't seen you that much because of the long distance between Louisiana and California. But what a great inspiration you've been. And I know everybody's been talking about you and your birthday party. So let me represent the family by saying we love you and we hope you have a very joyful time on your birthday. And I want to thank you for spending time with me. You have some great family to do all this before the party and spend time with us and hook everything up. And I want to thank you, family, for doing this for us. And thank you so much.
all
And
this great families have great kids.
yep, no doubt.
You hear that?
I hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
But hey, one final question. I used to always call you Aunt Leonie, but where did Rita come in?
You know, Nancy asked me that same question years ago. When I first got here, the name Leonie was kind of hard for people to mention. So I thought, oh, Lord, my middle name is Rita. Call me Rita. So that's how I ended up with Rita.
And
to be
there it
honest
is.
with you, I didn't like the word Leonie because men. There was one man that was named Leonie. Then due to time of history, I come across some Russian people that were named Leontine. Well, my uncle's wife was named Leontine. There was a whole bunch of teens after Leon. Still.
Well, look, I see it right
that is
here.
What I need.
I'm just showing everybody in TV land. That's Aunt Leonie Rita's 100th birthday celebration.
Birthday invitation.
So you're going to be getting some cards.
The first one, I told you, the first one came back.
Yeah, you're going to, and I appreciate the note you wrote to me, and I'm going to be sending you a package to California, and you can be looking for it next week. And I know my family sent you some cards and all, so maybe it just takes a while to get to California, but we love you. God bless you, and thank you so much for spending some time with your long-lost nephew.
Oh, you're not lost. I remember everybody, every time, every day.
Oh,
thank you.
That's sweet. Thank you, Aunt Leonie. God bless you. Kelsey, thank you for setting it up.
I remember, the only ones I don't remember too well is your brother. Not Leonard, the other one.
Mike.
Michael. Oh.
It's a horror.
I could not think of his name.
Well, you know I'm going to keep that in the interview, right? Yes, indeed. But thank you, Aunt Leonie. We love you, and God bless you, okay?
Love you too, and God bless all of you.
All righty. Amen.